Well, hi, this is Custom Works, and I'm Clint Allen. Going to give you a quick update on what's going on with the Cobra POWERSTROKE truck project. Kind of give you a little look here on the whys, the whats, and where we're at. This is going to be a full video series in the future, but a couple people have asked, we're going to tell. So the crashed truck that came in that I bought was a 2002. The cab that we're switching everything over to is a 2001. So why do we have to go through and do all of this work? 2002 is when they switched the cab design. Yeah, the exterior might look, like any other POWERSTROKE that for the new body style, but actually 2002 and 2003 where they ended the 7.3, that cab was designed in 2002 for the 6-liter actually. A lot more wiring. There was a lot more indentations for running also wiring through the cab. Changes were made. So I couldn't just take a 2001 cab and pop it onto the new frame. The two just aren't going to jive if I'm going to make this a 2002. So that's why we're at where we're at with that. Everything basically is all compatible between the two, except once again for wiring. Some wiring mods will have to be done here, and I'll show you when I get to that, when we get to the cab part of it. But basically, we stripped out the 2002 cab of everything. We keep all the parts for everything, store it away, whatever the case may be. Most of it is reused in here, but on the crashed cab, this was all toasted. Absolutely unusable. And we've got a billion tons of parts, so pulling out parts out of stock is what makes this possible. Otherwise, it would be very costly. On the inside of the cab, this is some of the things that we do. When we completely rebuild a truck, on the inside here, all of the firewall items are completely redone. And if you wanted to do this on your truck, it's actually pretty simple. What we do when we do a full rebuild for somebody is we just order brand new. But now this one here, like I've discussed, we're just installing the old parts. We're just repairing, and this is just to put a truck back on the road and do it right. So the next owner is going to have a good quality truck that he can rely on. So the firewall items, basically we took the old firewall heat shielding, cleaned it all up really good, and then basically took foil from a store, heavy duty Glad wrap foil, used 3M adhesive and sprayed it on both and then attached them together, and this is what we got right here. This is what you're looking at right here. Completely all done up. Looking real good, looking like it's brand new. Brand new clips on there. Make sure that everything gets held on extremely well. As we go through here, installing the brand new wiring, we have these parts. We got a lot of stuff on order right here, but stuff like this is on order.
But I have a lot of things that are on order.
The pigtails are on order. New wash bottle had to be installed. Once again, everything on this side had to be all brand new installed. And as we're going through making our connections, what we're doing is, I did a video on this. Everything gets deoxed, cleaned up, and then dielectric grease before we make the new connections. That way we're sure that we have a truck that, once again, for the next person is going to be highly reliable, and we know when we hit the switch that she's going to fire off right away, and we're not going to have 10 billion check engine PO codes and stuff like that. So that reminds me here, if you're new here, you just stumbled across the video, whatever the case may be, if you want to see good quality 7.3 POWERSTROKE information, good quality video, good quality editing, some fun thrown in there, you're in the right place. We're not out in our driveway, we're not out in the field making POWERSTROKE videos with our cell phones here. You found the right spot. Down in the description below, I've made it easy for everybody. All of our video playlists are sitting down below here, and you can actually find out what all the sensors are on the 7.3 POWERSTROKE, what they do, can they be tested, how they test, our Tech Talk videos, our hands-on videos. The goal of this channel is, when we get done, is for somebody to come to my channel and go, oh yeah, that's how you fix that. It's a long road, but we're gonna get there. But moving back to here, we went through and took a couple different paints. Right now, the popular color for any automotive vehicle is white. Well, I don't like white. The next one is black. On a truck, just, you know, on a POWERSTROKE, just doesn't work. Or maybe it's me. But either which way, the third in line, the most popular color right now in Ford's lineup is a dark gray. The gray itself and what I have mixed right here is so close that in the sunlight you just don't notice the difference, but I've got more metal flake in here than what Ford's most popular color gray is. And it really shows off quite well. So she's all going to be dark gray. This is the Cobra project, so we're going to have a custom hood. We're going to be showing you that, how to make a custom hood scoop. We're going to dress her up just like a Cobra F-150. It's going to look pretty sharp when we get done. A lot of custom parts are going to have to be made. And, you know, what the heck? Have some fun with it, make something different, and still have that POWERSTROKE, that 7.3, that high quality 7.3, that durable 7.3 underneath the hood here. Let's move to the interior here, and I'll show you what's going on there. So as we start to put the interior together, this is a perfect opportunity to add a few things. And what we're doing here is just putting in a basic sound barrier, sound shield. This is not like for audio, for car audio or anything like that. Matter of fact, speaking of car audio, we got our feelers out to a few companies that see if we can get them to sponsor a stereo in here. We've sent out Nakamichi. They've sent us an answer back, kind of asking us what we're thinking. Pioneer, Kenwood, JVC. Haven't heard back from them yet, but maybe Nakamichi might get in on this, which would be pretty nice. Even if they just send us a couple speakers would be great, but either which way, they might be sponsoring the whole stereo system, which we'll be doing then a full custom install video on that for them. But either way, and then we'll be getting you some pretty big discounts on Nakamichi equipment if that goes the way we're hoping it to go. But this right here is sound deadening material. It does a few things. It helps deaden the road noise, and also has a heat shield in here, so the air conditioner is going to remain cooler, less stress on the components. During winter time, whoever buys this is in a northern portion of the world. It's going to help the heat stay in the cab. This right here, if you decide to go this route, and I'll throw this in the description, this is got some self-adhesive on it. And if you're going to use this, make damn sure you get it in place where you need it, because it won't come off. It is a kind of a spongy rubber, which is really nice for soaking up that deep sound that comes off of the road. With that adhesive on there, it stops any type of possible rattles or clinks or anything like that. And of course, this is the heat shield part of it. You can put it in engine compartments also, and you won't end up starting your truck on fire. But what we did with this is, it was the best value for the buck. So not only did we do the heat shields that were already on the truck, and we just upgraded them with new foil, this is sitting behind those as well. The firewall, we have a rubber EPDM that is glued to the firewall on the inside of the truck. Then we also added the heat shield, and then on top of that we put the factory rubber back in when they've got a little bit of fiber mat behind that. So that's going to be real quiet back over here. The whole floor, of course, is being done in this. Now, if you ever decide to do this with this specific brand right here, you're going to have to go through with some foil tape and foil tape the seams, because it will, it doesn't hold water, but it will take in a little bit of water on the edges. So wherever water's going to be, where your feet is, you're going to go through and do the seams. So that's why we have this the way I have this right here. Talking about the wiring thing and a few different things in the cabs, the 2002 cab actually had an indentation that ran across the floor that held all of this wiring. You know, but why they went this route to take all of this wiring for the doors and a few other components and run it all the way through here, down through the floor, back across here. Well, Lord only knows why they did that. This will be nixed actually right here. I will be taking that and running it underneath the dash. Maybe they thought that it was picking up some frequencies and causing problems. If that's the case, I'll be shielding it, and I'll show you how to shield wiring so you don't have interference. It's a big thing with stereos, by the way, is it having proper shielded wires so you don't have the hum and the buzz from other components in the vehicle. But either which way, this is going to be reran. The only wires that we'll have here is just for the power seats and for the airbag system in here. So that's the only thing that we're keeping. Like I said, this is just absolutely silly of why they went this route. But back to the heat shielding here. It's going through the whole roofing system. This whole back is going to be done with it. Every nook and cranny is going to be done with it. And that's going to really help lower the sound level from the road in here. If you do go this route, it does make a nice difference in the sound that's in the cab. It does quiet it down, but it isn't like walking off of a highway at, you know, Friday rush hour into a completely closed room with no sound. So don't get over expectation about it. It lowers it anywhere from 10 to 18 dB, which is actually a lot, but unless you drive it down the road and actually take a sound meter, then do the installation, the drop isn't that major, but enough to make it more comfortable, more reasonable in the cab. You have to play, you know, you can play your radio at a lower volume, unless, you know, you're really kicking her down, and, you know, well, actually this will help increase the volume in the cab because it holds the sound pressure in the cab better. good for subwoofer systems. But either which way, the wiring that runs through the dash here, we've gone through that, tested each wire because it was in a crash, and everything checks out just fine there. Just starting to get it pieced back together and getting everything the way that I want it. And of course, we're running the wiring for other coax, for other speakers, for other systems that we're going to be installing in here, alarming systems, stuff like that. We're all, you know, have the opportunity when the truck's apart to get that all in here. So here's a quick update of where I'm at on the Cobra POWERSTROKE project. Put your questions down below. Add in there if there's anything that you want to see specifically while we're doing it. You know, most of this stuff right here, because I've done it for so many years, it's kind of like, well, okay, you know, I would assume that everybody knows this or that. Nah, you know, and you sometimes get that curveball. So if you have any questions, you know, I can throw that in on future videos. But until then, I hope you've learned something, and you take it easy and you have a good day. You know, I've said it once, I've said it a million times. Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and check it out, it's gonna pass you right by. Same goes for this channel. Subscribe, like, share your comments, pass it on.
Till then,